And you heard Tom and Reuben just ask Alec Boehm about Rob Thomson addressing the team, and Boehm said, hell, we earned it. And it sounds like that Thompson, in no small way, made it clear that they needed to play better, and he said, we got to move on. But he was right, and they did move on. They responded. Does it always work like that when a manager airs out his team?
It doesn't always work out like that, and you definitely don't expect it from Rob Thomson, who's about as even-keeled a manager as you're ever going to see. But there are times when you just have to get into it a little bit with your team, and whether that comes from a coach or a manager or a fellow teammate. But yeah, they needed something to go on to transpire, because the brand of baseball that they've played the last couple of days in Pittsburgh is very uninspiring. But they righted the ship today. Granted, they left a lot of guys on base, 11 to be exact, and they were 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. But a W is a W.
Talk about falling behind once again. They're 16-36 coming into tonight's game. 16 wins, 36 losses if they're scored upon first. It happened tonight, courtesy of a home run Taiwan Walker allowed, and he actually pitched quite well. But they fought back, and that showed a lot of grit.
It did show a lot of grit, and I like the fact that, I don't like the fact they gave up a 2-run homer in that first inning. But you look at what he did, able to go throw 6 2/3. I said if they can get him to 7 innings, just 1 out shy of that. He saved the bullpen a little bit, threw 100 pitches, only 56 for strikes. But he did not have his best fastball, and what I liked is that they got off the page. They found other ways. He threw a lot of cutters tonight. He threw some four-seamers, some more sinkers. Didn't have that velocity, but was able to maintain a game plan moving forward, and then was very, very successful. When you don't have your best stuff, you have to find ways to pitch, and that's exactly what Taiwan Walker did tonight.
He did. He ultimately looked pretty good. Let's talk to Reuben Amaro Jr. about it. Back down to Miami and check in with Reuben. Reuben, last year he was 4-0. 2.65 against Miami, Taiwan Walker. Make that 5-0 going back to last season. The ERA's got to be even lower. He came in at a 4.05, and now he's at 3.99, and he pitched quite well after that first inning, didn't he?
You said the word pitch. I mean, that's exactly what he did. He didn't have his great stuff, didn't have a great velocity. He was at like 90-91 with his fastball, but he sunk the ball, he cut it, he threw his split quite a number of times, but he figured out ways to get people out, and that was one of the best efforts I've seen with a guy who just didn't really have great stuff, and that's a great thing to see. The fact that he got his 12th win. I mean, this is everything you would have asked of a guy that you're calling your number 3 or number 4 starter. He's done a beautiful job of keeping this team in games, and the Phillies have won a lot of his ball games, and it's a testament. It ends up being a great signing as far as I'm concerned, because this guy, he knows how to pitch, he knows what he's doing on the mound, and he's figuring out ways to get people out even without his best stuff.
Reuben, look at this offense tonight. 10 walks, only able to push 4 across home plate, but 10 walks. I do like the fact that they're staying within the strike zone a little bit more as they did tonight, but they got to find ways to get better. Runners in scoring position. It sounds like a broken record, just 2 for 12 tonight. But are you more concerned with that, or is the fact that you just got a W?
I think the W is the most important thing, but you would like to see them have the same sort of approach when there's nobody on than when they as when they have runners in scoring position. It almost looks like they're trying to do too much to create runs, and instead of just kind of letting the game come to them, and so they're not barreling the balls up. The guys that are barreling the balls up are Stott and Boehm. They're doing it a lot more consistently than even the other veterans are doing. And to me, it's just, I think they're just trying to press too much. I mean, sometimes you felt it. You've been there, Ben, where you're just trying to do a little bit too much. And if they had the same sort of approach with nobody on, nobody out, as they do with runners in scoring position, I think that they would fare much better.
I know managers, especially in the modern day baseball, do not like to give up outs. But we saw what Jake Cave did today. It translated into a 2-run double by Johan Rojas. I love the fact that they're able to do that. It's bottom of the lineup. Hey, try and make something happen. It worked tonight.
Well, he did it against a left-hander that's pretty tough on lefties, and Jake had not been swinging the bat all that well up to that point. I'm not sure if he did that on his own or whether it came from the dugout from Rob Thomson, but it ended up working out very well. He actually executed it quite well. It was one of those sort of in-between bunts where if he gets it down, he'll move the runners, but with the possibility of trying to get a base hit as well. And it's not a bad idea, and it was huge for Johan Rojas to come up with that big base hit down the left field line in that situation. And it's nice to see the youngsters stepping up and doing some things. It's time at some point for the veteran guys to start doing it as well.
Reuben, you asked Alec Boehm, you and Tommy asked Alec Boehm about Rob Thomson, quote unquote, speaking to the team after the game yesterday in which they lost that series to Pittsburgh. And I'm wondering if you know what the tone and tenor of that conversation was between manager and team, and whether or not, I'm sure you've been a participant in one of those throughout your career. What is it like, and how does it spur guys on to win games?
I think it's an important piece of it. Everybody thinks that Rob Thompson's like this chill guy, and he is. But when he sees things that need to be addressed and he sees them playing the brand of baseball that they played in Pittsburgh, which was not very good, I mean, Alec Boehm said it himself. It was one of the best answers I've seen in an interview where he said, well, we've earned it. They've earned the fact that they needed a little tongue lashing. And I think that I think more than anything else, Rob Thomson just pointed out, hey, this is a better team. We're a better team than this. We do not play this way. This is not our brand of baseball. We need to pick it up a notch, and I think that resonates. Now, when you start having those meetings over and over and over again, it becomes white noise for the players. But it was pretty clear that it was something that was needed, and I think it kicked them in the butt a little bit.
Mm-hmm. You ever speak to the guys like that as a GM?
I really don't. I like to leave that up to the manager. That's his job to do that. From time to time I would have a little chat with certain players individually, but that really was not my job as a GM. I felt like that the reason why that I hired that person to be the general on the field is to be the general on the field.
Absolutely. Not like you are here when you bring everybody in, say, take it easy.
That's right.
That's right. We're going to do a good show tonight. All right. I hear you. All right, my friend.
Emmy-type stuff, Mike.
What's that?
Emmy-type stuff.
Emmy-type stuff.
Mike.
Emmy-type stuff, man. And you're going to get it. All right, buddy. Thanks so much. Reuben Amaro Jr. joining us from Miami. We'll check you tomorrow. Let's take a look at the wild card standings, which are going to be wild for the next 56 games or so. There are the Phillies back in the second spot with the Brewers going down. They are, one game back of the Giants. And the Phils now at 57-49 with Milwaukee. Marlins were in there going into tonight's game. Now they're not. This is driving me crazy, Ben. Should I just expect it the rest of the way?
It's like a tennis match, a lot of back and forth, and I think you should expect it the rest of the way. These teams are showing no signs of losing ball games or losing series, so the Phillies have to keep up. They have to keep pace. They did that tonight. That's the bottom line. They got 3 more in Florida and Miami. If they can take 3 out of 4 from the Fish, I think that would just do them wonders and get them moving more so in the right direction.
They are now 3 wins, 4 losses this season against Miami. And what's more, I talked in the pregame program about Monday being the Phillies' worst day of the week, and indeed it is. They were 2-6 on Mondays coming into tonight. That's not nothing. I mean, it's not like Sunday when they got an overwhelming winning record, but now they're 3-6, and they actually, against a team like Miami, look pretty good. For whatever reason, the Marlins have their number or have had it.
Man, you did some deep diving into those numbers, didn't you?
I really did.
I'll tell you
right now. Well,
no,
I don't know if I did it or the Phillies staff who makes up the notes did it, but Mondays they're 2-6. They are 11-8 on Saturdays. That's their most wins. Saturday.
Maybe it's just it's little hiccup on Mondays. They don't play. Obviously, that was just their 9th game tonight on a Monday, but they got the job done. It wasn't the prettiest game. It wasn't the most energetic game, uplifting game. But again, they got the W, and that's the bottom line. And I do think this is a game where they didn't swing the bats great. Taiwan Walker didn't have his best stuff. But we saw guys like Matt Strom stepped up today. These guys, Jeff Hoffman stepped up today. Kimbrel looked great. So this is a good team win. Did anybody do anything that was noticeably great? Alec Boehm swung the bat well. But other than that, it was kind of a dull game. But they found a way to keep their heads above water and move on accordingly. And again, they got that W, and that's all that matters.
All right, I am interested to hear Rob Thompson's thoughts on this win, and perhaps he's asked about what he said to his troops as they went into tonight's game at Miami. Here's Rob Thompson post-game.
What'd you think of Walker bouncing back after that first inning? What changed for him?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, velocity was down tonight. It just wasn't coming out. But it actually got better as the game went on. But, yeah, 2-0 after the first two hitters and then shuts him right down. I think he leaned on his split and his cutter more than his two-seam. So he just made an adjustment and got it done.
What's going through your mind after those first two batters? He's like his fastball is like barely hitting 90. Or
Yeah.
is there concern in the dugout?
Yeah, there is. There is for me. I'm wondering if there's something going on. He said he felt fine. It just wasn't. It was one of those days. Just wasn't coming out. So he made the adjustment. And, pitched great.
And pitchers' velocities will fluctuate, but I don't think I've ever seen a guy who, from one start, he could be going 94 and a half.
Yeah.
And the next start's 91. Have you ever seen a pitcher that just, for whatever reason, when he's healthy, just has such ups and downs?
I don't think so. And then even tonight, he went from 90 to 93, 94 by the end of it. So he found something.
Yeah.
What do you think of Bohm tonight?
He's great. Yeah. And that's what he does. He uses the field. And, he gets hits with runners in scoring position, which we've struggled with so far this year. And but he's the one guy that comes through, him and Stock.
Do you think you could see more time in that spot?
I think so. Yeah.
After kind of a bitter taste in your mouth over the weekend, like how badly did you feel like your guys needed a game like this here tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought we really played well, and after the first two hitters it didn't look too good, but our guys kept after it, and had 10 walks again tonight. And I think that's 31 walks in the last 4 games. So it's, some discipline in there, but we got to take advantage of that too.
Right, so you're not scoring maybe as many runs as you would think with all those walks, but does the improved decision making at the plate encourage you?
Yes, because I always say as long as you've got base runners, you're going to score at some point. Now you go through times when you don't hit with runners in scoring position, but you just keep putting base runners on, you're going to score.
And then Rojas, another huge hit, and then also drew a walk and scored a run. He's not playing. He's never been a part-time player, right, in his career. Like, so how impressed are you that he's been able to take advantage of his opportunities?
Really impressed, and impressed with our hitting coaches too, because they keep him sharp and keep him ready to go. But again, Jake Cave, bunts for a base hit and kind of gives himself up to. That wasn't anything I called.
Right. Okay.
And you got to play unselfish baseball.
So you did not. Yeah, you didn't call for the sacrifice.
No,
there.
he did it on his own. He saw an opportunity to bunt for a base hit, move the runners up, and then Rojas came through.
Were you down in the bullpen tonight?
Yes.
You were.
Yeah.
Was Soto?
Well, not necessarily. Well, Dominguez was down. Marte was basically down. I could have used Marte in an extra inning game like the last guy out of the pen. Really wanted to stay away from Soto. Really wanted to stay away from. He's probably the guy that really wanted to stay away from.
And JT screwed up his hand there. Is he all right?
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I don't know how sore it's going to be tomorrow, but when he wakes up. But that was kind of strange.
Obviously, stuff can happen by tomorrow, but with Rojas and how smooth he is in center and what it does for your outfield defense when he is hitting like this, do you want to put him in more because of that? Potentially more against right-handers? Or?
Yeah, and I think we have a little bit, but still picking your spots. I'm not sure if Sandy Alcantara is, a guy that we want to put him on, but I have a lot of confidence in him. And one thing, you're going to get defense.